Ah, the PS3, a glorious era when games were weird, bold, and completely unashamed. And if you are the type to go digging through the bargain bin for something spicy, then you already know the PS3 was fan service heaven. So today we're diving into 10 must-play PS3 games loaded with fan service. From bouncy brawlers to awesome anime RPGs you forgot about or tried to hide from your mom. Now, some of these titles dropped on other platforms, and a few even got remakes or remasters, but their roots? Pure PS3. Links to any of my full reviews in the description. But for now, let's dust off that old boomerang controller and get to the games that made the PS3 era so thirsty. Starting off where dark fantasy meets seductive style in Knights of Azure, a game that wears its fan service proudly, lace, leather, and all. Developed by Gust, best known for their Atelier series, Knights of Azure released in October 2015 in Japan and made its way to North America in March 2016. It's a third-person action RPG with real-time combat, light summoning mechanics, and a distinct focus on the emotional bond between its female leads. Something the game leans into with surprisingly earnest storytelling and less surprising visual flair. Set in a gothic-inspired monster-infested world, you play as Arnis, a holy knight tasked with protecting her childhood friend and potential love interest, Lilith. The relationship between the two is at the heart of the game and is steeped in Yuri subtext. Gameplay-wise, think Devil May Cry meets Pokemon, if the monsters were all sexy demon girls and oversized eldritch horrors. Arnis can summon a team of creatures called servants, each with unique abilities, and you can experiment with different loadouts and real-time strategies. Combat is fast and fluid, drenched in blue and red hues that complement the game's darkly romantic tone. While Knights of Azure may have flown under the radar, it received enough attention to get a sequel, Knights of Azure 2: Bride of the New Moon, that was released in 2017. This follow-up refined the combat and leaned even harder into the Yuri undertones. Neither title ever received a proper remaster, though in addition to the first game coming out on the PS3, they were both released on PS4, Vita in Japan, Switch, and PC. It's not perfect, but if you're looking for something that blends action RPG mechanics with a heavy dose of sapphic tension and aesthetic indulgence, Knights of Azure is a must-play. If you ever wanted to command a team of anime all-stars while drowning in absurdity and cleavage, Trinity Universe definitely delivers. Developed by Idea Factory in collaboration with Nippon Ichi Software and Gust, Trinity Universe launched exclusively for the PS3 in October 2009 in Japan and hit Western shores in June 2010. It's a turn-based, dungeon-crawling RPG with a major emphasis on character interactions, irreverent humor, and, you guessed it, loads of fan service. You play as one of two protagonists, the noble demon dog king Kanata or the self-absorbed Valkyrie Rosalia. Then you go off exploring the floating netherworlds, assemble a party filled with familiar faces from franchises like Disgaea and Atelier, and take on missions in grid-based dungeons. The turn-based combat is a lot of fun, where you time combos, manage action points, and juggle enemies through the air. But gameplay takes a backseat to what Trinity Universe truly delivers: character interactions and cheeky eye candy. Every moment you spend in the game's hub world is a fire hose of visual novel-style dialogue, packed with anime tropes, beach episodes, bathhouse scenes, and jokes that skirt the line between PG-13 rom-com and that scrambled channel at your parents' house. If you're into fan-favorite characters like Etna from Disgaea or Pamela from Atelier, it's pretty awesome to see them reimagined with updated models and even better animations. Though it never received a sequel or remaster, Trinity Universe has become something of a cult curiosity, especially for fans of crossover JRPGs. It remains exclusive to the PS3, making it one of the few games on this list you have to track down on original hardware. Between the parody-drenched writing, skin-tight outfits, and pure anime overload, Trinity Universe feels like a love letter to otaku culture that you'll be cringing while cackling the entire way through.
If I were a ghost, I wouldn't have to worry about getting thrown around all the time, dude.
If you can't throw a Prinny, it's absolutely useless.
Blades, bikinis, and battle ballads. Shining Resonance is Sega's beautifully excessive swan song for the PS3 era Shining series. Developed by Mediavision, the team behind Wild Arms, and published by Sega, Shining Resonance originally launched in Japan in December 2014 as a PS3 exclusive. And while it never made its way to the West in its original form, it got a second chance in 2018 as Shining Resonance Refrain, a full remaster for PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and PC, which is the version I've got. You play as Yuma, a reluctant hero who houses the soul of a powerful ancient dragon. Your journey unfolds in real-time combat, where you chain attacks, switch characters on the fly, and unleash transformations that turn you into a freaking dragon. Now, becoming a glowing beast of destruction is only half the experience. The real resonance comes from the game's musical and relationship systems. Each party member is a musical warrior hybrid, wielding magical instruments called harmonics. You'll build bonds through the flirty dialogue, beach trips, and late-night conversations, all of which subtly change your combat buffs. Want to take your elf archer on a hot springs date before facing a world-ending boss? Well, you can do that. On top of that, you have a beefy wardrobe. From armored bikinis to maid outfits, Shining Resonance has a full catalog of awesome costume DLC. In Refrain, all this DLC is included, so you're diving into the complete, unfiltered experience right out of the gate. While there haven't been any direct sequels, Shining Resonance is the final entry in a long-running lineage of Shining games that stretches all the way back to the Genesis era. This one, though, is all about anime aesthetics, romance mechanics, and musical combat. So, if you want your JRPGs loud, flashy, and absolutely dripping with over-designed anime charm, then Shining Resonance Refrain is your backstage pass to a very special kind of fantasy concert. Is there any better way to take out enemies than with high heels, sadism, and a medieval Rube Goldberg machine? Well, in Deception 4, it's kinda the whole point. Published by Tecmo Koei, now called Koei Tecmo for some reason, and developed by Team Ninja, Deception 4 Blood Ties hit the PS3 and Vita in February 2014 in Japan, followed by a Western release in March 2014. Despite its name, it's the fifth entry in the cult classic Deception series, a line of trap-focused strategy games that are as weird as they are wicked. You play as Legrina, a sultry gothic daughter of the devil himself, on a mission to revive her demonic father by eliminating the descendants of those who imprisoned him. And what makes this so unique is you don't fight enemies directly. Instead, you lure them into rooms filled with traps, triggering combos of spiked walls, springboards, banana peels, and giant man-eating bears in tutus. I'm freaking serious. Gameplay revolves around placing and chaining traps in creative ways. You'll plan your setups, wait for the perfect moment, and then sit back as you launch a knight into a wall, crush him with a chandelier, and then dip him into a pit of lava. It's part tactics, part dark comedy, and all of it drenched in exaggerated anime naughtiness. In 2015, the expanded version, Deception 4: The Nightmare Princess, launched on PS3, PS4, and Vita, adding a new sadistic protagonist, Valkyrie, who takes the fanservice up another notch. With new traps, faster gameplay, and dozens of unlockable costumes, including sexy armor, maid uniforms, and cosplay gear, it's the definitive version to hunt down. The game doesn't have any direct sequels, but it's a spiritual continuation of Trapped on the PS2, and the original Tecmo's Deception series on the PS1. So if you're the type who wants to punish enemies with a combination of cruelty and comedy, and look awesome while doing it, then Deception 4 is your not-so-guilty pleasure. Okay, when Tokyo is under attack by hidden vampires,
what do you do? What do you do?
well, it probably looks something like this. Developed by Acquire and published by Exceed Games, Akiba's Trip, Undead, and Undressed launched in 2013 in Japan under the title Akiba's Trip 2, and made its way westward in August 2014 for the PS3 and Vita, with later releases on PS4 and PC. Set in a lovingly recreated version of Tokyo's otaku mecca, Akihabara, you play as a guy who's been turned into a synthetic vampire called a synthester. But of course, you're one of the good ones, right? Now, you need to expose other synthesters to sunlight by literally stripping them down in combat. Yep, jackets, skirts, and underwear all go flying mid-battle. You'll patrol the streets of Akiba, accept side quests, visit real-world inspired stores, and pick your waifu from a cast of girls including an idol, a ninja maid, and your tsundere childhood friend. Every dialogue choice nudges your relationship with them forward, and yes, you can end up dating them. The game's mechanics are simple but satisfying. You target individual clothing items, weaken them through repeated strikes, and then perform high-speed strip combos. What makes Akiba's Trip special isn't just its absurd premise. It's how earnest it is in recreating Akihabara's culture. Shops, posters, even the background conversations feel pulled from real life. But make no mistake, this is still a fan service buffet, with endless combat stripping, innuendo-laced dialogue, and costume unlocks ranging from school uniforms to battle bikinis. Though there's no direct sequel, Akiba's Trip Hellbound and Debriefed, a remaster of the first game, released in 2021. And Akiba's Trip Undead and Undressed Director's Cut launched on the Switch in 2023 with added content. But the PS3 version still holds up as a raunchy and original take on the concept. So if you ever wanted to punch vampires out of their pants while shopping for dolls,
action figure.
Okay, action figures, while trying to manage your love life, Akiba's Trip is a trip worth taking.
Come on, let's do this.
Game consoles reimagined as anime goddesses, battling it out in skimpy outfits to save the world of game industry. Now we're diving into one of the GOATs of fanservice RPGs. Developed by Idea Factory and Compile Heart, the original Hyperdimension Neptunia debuted on the PS3 in August 2010 in Japan, followed by a Western release in February 2011. It's a turn-based JRPG with light strategy elements, visual novel-style storytelling, and enough meta jokes to heat up that PS3. You play as Neptune, a personified video game console and goddess, who's fallen from power and must reclaim her rightful place by forming a party with other console goddesses, like Noir, representing PlayStation, Blanc for Nintendo, and Vert for Xbox. Yes, the console wars are also a waifu war, and you're smack in the middle of it. Combat happens in small arenas, where you position your characters and unleash combo attacks. You'll customize movesets, assign different EXE drives for different super attacks, and unlock ridiculous transformations called HDD forms, which turn your heroines into high-powered, scantily clad versions of themselves. Why, you ask? Well, stop asking so many dumb questions. Outside of battle, you'll navigate the simple environments, read dialogue-heavy cutscenes, and unlock outfits. The writing leans hard into parody, taking shots at gaming tropes, industry scandals, and otaku culture, while still fully indulging in it. The original PS3 game is admittedly clunky, but it laid the foundation for what would become a massive cult franchise. The series exploded with remakes and spin-offs, rhythm games, and even a full anime adaptation. Neptunia has appeared on a bunch of different PlayStation systems, but it all started right here with an unapologetically janky fanservice-heavy entry on the PS3. What if casting spells meant stripping your party members, and they got more powerful the less they were wearing? Well, you're either having that dream again, or you're playing Tonelico Qoga. Developed by Gust and released exclusively for the PS3 in January 2010 in Japan and March 2011 in North America, Tonelico Qoga Knell of RCL is the third and final entry in the cult favorite Tonelico series, a trilogy of JRPGs that blend sci-fi world-building, song-based magic, and some of the most fanservice-heavy mechanics in the genre. You step into the shoes of Aoto, a hothead caught in a civil war between the Clustanian regime and those fighting for freedom in the floating world of Soul Cluster. Your mission? Protect Rave-Atils, magical girls who literally sing reality into existence, and help them dive into their own subconscious cosmospheres to unlock new powers. Here's where it gets wild. In combat, Rave-Atils power up by purging their clothes, an actual in-battle strip mechanic that increases the strength of their song magic. The more synchronized you are with them emotionally, the more clothes they shed, and the more devastating their attacks become. It's like a magical girl transformation sequence, but with way less fabric and way more moaning. Outside of combat, you dive, yes, literally, into your party's minds in visual novel-style sequences packed with innuendo, dream logic, and fanservice. Every Rave-Atil has multiple personality layers you can unlock, each one more revealing, psychologically and physically. The gameplay itself mixes action RPG elements with strategic song-based support from the Rave-Atils. You'll time attacks, defend your casters, and build up a meter to trigger increasingly risque transformations. Qoga never received a sequel or remaster, and it remains exclusive to the PS3, a final send-off for the Tonelico series. Though Gust would go on to explore similar territory in Ciel no Surge and Blue Reflection. The soundtrack, like its predecessors, is freaking stunning, composed largely in fictional languages and performed like operatic love letters to the genre. If you want your JRPGs bursting with sci-fi weirdness, sultry spellcasters, and power-up systems that literally strip the cast down to their core, Tonelico Qoga is an unforgettable and very fanservice-forward PS3 gem. If your idea of fanservice is galaxy-conquering lollies, bathhouse minigames, and costume changes every 5 minutes, Mugen Souls is your unhinged dream JRPG. Developed by Compile Heart and co-produced by G-Crest, Mugen Souls hit the PS3 in March 2012 in Japan and October 2012 in North America and Europe. It's a turn-based RPG with free movement combat, over-the-top attack animations, and a storyline so deliberately excessive it has Disgaea making sense. You play as a self-proclaimed undisputed god of the universe, who decides to conquer everything by turning all beings into peons. Just like your mom, you turn everything into willing servants by using your multiple insane personality transformations, like sadist, bipolar, masochist, and more. In battle, you control a squad of characters using a tactical free-roaming system, where positioning matters, combos are king, and you want to rack up style points with absurd, planet-destroying special moves. Outside of combat, you'll dive into peon creation, build an army of custom units, and of course, spend time in the bathhouse. It's part minigame, part fanservice engine, and mostly there so characters can show off their underwear during awkward dialogue. The game's stacked with DLC outfits, swimsuits, maid uniforms, and just about every anime wardrobe cliche imaginable. It's all done with a wink, but it never stops dialing up the thirsty energy. A sequel, Mugen Souls Z, launched in 2013 with even more characters, systems, and fanservice. Both games remained PS3 exclusives for a long time, until remastered versions were released on Nintendo Switch by East Asia Soft between 2022 and 2023. If you can handle a story where narcissism is a superpower, Mugen Souls is the PS3's most glittery, raunchy, and ridiculous JRPG power trip. Now, fanservice isn't just about bikinis and jiggle physics. It's about giving fans exactly what they want. And no game embodies all things fanservice like Metal Gear Solid 5. The last Kojima Productions game published by Konami, Metal Gear Solid 5 is split into two parts: Ground Zeroes, a prologue released in 2014, and The Phantom Pain, the full open-world experience that followed in September 2015, both on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC. You play as Venom Snake, aka Big Boss, on a mission of revenge and redemption. The gameplay shifts the series from tightly directed stealth corridors into full-blown open-world infiltration, letting you choose how to approach every mission: guns blazing, ghost-like stealth, or airborne sheep extraction. It's freedom at its peak. But let's talk fanservice. Most obvious is Quiet, the mute sniper who wears a bikini top and ripped tights into combat because, according to Kojima, she breathes through her skin. Yeah, it's a very Kojima explanation. Her design sparked controversy from the prudes, but in gameplay she's one of the most powerful allies you can recruit, with AI that's almost too good. Just big and perfect, and now Metal Gear Solid 5's fanservice isn't just skin deep. It's packed with callouts, references, and love letters to decades of Metal Gear history. You'll hear familiar voice lines, discover hidden tapes that explain shadowy conspiracies, and spot design motifs ripped straight from Metal Gear Solid 3 and Peace Walker. Kojima's obsession with legacy bleeds through every mission briefing and helicopter ride. You can collect classic Metal Gear music, call back to old camouflage systems, and even dress like Snake in nostalgia-heavy outfits. And yes, you can Fulton a bear or parachute an enemy soldier into the sky while wearing a cardboard box painted like an anime girl. Though The Phantom Pain was infamously unfinished due to Kojima's split with Konami, what's here is still a staggering, self-aware juggernaut. The PS3 version holds up shockingly well, even if the ports on PS4 and PC offer better visuals and performance. There's no remaster yet, but the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is rumored to include it in the near future. Whether you're here for the tactical espionage action, the callbacks to Metal Gear lore, or the unapologetically slow camera crawl during the shower scenes, Metal Gear Solid 5 delivers fanservice on every possible level.
She's okay?
She's okay.
She just can't move when she's taking in water. Look.
Ever wonder what would happen if you shoved anime legends, RPG icons, and gothic lolitas into a single fanservice-fueled universe? CrossEdge is that fever dream come to life. Developed by Compile Heart and published by NIS America, CrossEdge launched exclusively on the PS3 in 2008 in Japan and May 2009 in North America. It's a 2D, grid-based, turn-based RPG that mashes together characters from a half dozen different game franchises. You play as York, an original character who stumbles into an alternate dimension filled with familiar faces. From Disgaea, Darkstalkers, Atelier, Tonelico, the list goes on. You need to rescue the souls of lost maidens, fight off otherworldly threats, and somehow prevent reality from collapsing while ogling your party members' lingerie unlocks. Yeah, it's that kind of game, and yeah, it's kind of awesome. Combat is all about team positioning and combo chains. You'll assign skills to each character and set up devastating combo attacks by aligning your party across a battle grid. It's a surprisingly deep system. You'll spend almost as much time in menus tweaking stats, outfits, and equipment as you do fighting. And then there's the costume system. As you progress, you unlock increasingly revealing outfits for your characters, each with different stat bonuses. Some are tied to story progress, others to relationship events, and many exist purely for eye candy. Maid outfits, swimsuits, battle lingerie, you know, the usual. What makes CrossEdge stand out is just how freaking nuts it is. Seeing Morrigan from Darkstalkers banter with Etna from Disgaea, or teaming up Marie from Atelier with Orica from Tonelico is totally rad. But it's not just crossover for crossover's sake. Every character gets voice scenes, character-specific endings, and side quests that expand on their stories. There was no sequel, no remake, and the game was divisive even back in 2009. But for fans of obscure JRPGs and cheesecake-heavy crossovers, CrossEdge is a damn classic.
You're dead!
So rough!
And there you have it. 10 unforgettable PS3 games that didn't just push cell processor polygons, they pushed boundaries. Whether you played them back in the day, or you're now just realizing how stacked the PS3 library was, one thing's clear. Fanservice wasn't just alive and well, it was thriving in glorious 720p. But I know there's a bunch that I missed, so what favorite PS3 fanservice game should I include in part 2? If you liked the video, hit like and of course subscribe. And if you want awesome new fanservice games, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.